Good evening. Thank you so much for coming here to listen to me discuss my research project for my EDOL 647 class. As you can see from the title, I did my research over our cardiovascular endurance that our students do or do not have through pacers. And so the title is Improving Students' Cardiovascular Endurance Through Pacer Running. And I gave you the same thing. Here is our table of contents that's kind of with our meeting agenda. Here's a basic overview of everything that we will be covering in this PowerPoint presentation, from our vision statement all the way down to the next steps. So here's my vision statement that I have for my class. It's pretty broad, but this is something I created when I first started going into the education program, and I kind of just stuck to it. That I think physical education is crucial to develop and succeed in all facets of education. In my physical education class, students will learn to become a healthy and happy member of society. Students will leave our class a healthier person with the knowledge and skills and attitudes that are essential to live a healthy lifestyle. And they even got nice pictures to stimulate the reading of that. You have the meeting agenda at any time. You can look through and kind of see what we're going to be talking about for approximately how long. We will, here's the goal, share the research project with the PLC team, discussing the data collected and my data analysis, and then there's just a breakdown of everything that we will be going over. So here was the problem. In this class, I had to figure out a problem with my class that is relevant to my class and to the whole school that I could apply. And so being a PE teacher, I think that students' cardiovascular endurance is getting weaker and weaker as the years go on. Childhood obesity is becoming an epidemic, and students are becoming more heavier due to many factors such as technology use and students not just being able to go outside and play and be physically active. So I've done some research, and I have some research that you can see up here that supports mine, and there was a study done abroad that even aerobic fitness and other health-related fitness among school children is not very satisfactory. It goes on to further say that because of this, students are becoming inactive and leading a sedentary lifestyle, and it causes to overweight and obesity and other risk factors for cardiovascular disease, even among children. So after studying my class, I figured that there are students in the class that are pretty well off with cardiovascular endurance, but it's like hit or miss. They either play sports, or they're active, or they don't. And being in a rural community that we are, you either play sports, or you come from a family that allows you to play sports, or you don't. We have a very high poverty rate here, so that is another factor that contributes to that. So my intervention was that I would require my students to run pacers every day, and that we would track that. And so by them running their pacers every day, hopefully my goal was to improve their cardiovascular endurance by having to run pacers every day. And for those that don't know, pacers, it's side-to-side running on a court based off of a CD. The tones are very long at the beginning, and the longer that you run, the shorter that the tones get that tests your cardiovascular endurance. I'll administer a pretest, and from their pretest score, I'll give them an attainable go. From their pretest, I will give them an attainable goal that they will have to meet every day. So my first intervention was that they will run their pacers, get the pretest score, and from that, I'm using a 7th grade PE class because I do teach 6th, 7th, and 8th, and I felt like 7th was the happy medium to get the best baseline data. They will, like I was saying, they are going to be required to meet their goal every day. So it's Monday through Friday. They will have to meet their goal every day. The test will be administered at the start of the class because it takes the less amount of time out of content, since we only have 55 minutes with our students. When they get finished, they will record their score on a pacer log. I gave you all a copy. As you can see right there, there's a sample of a student's pacer log. And so you'll see on that Friday, that week 1 Friday, that would be their pretest score. And based off their pretest score, I created a goal for them. And so going into week 2, they would have to meet that goal every day. Okay. On the last day of the week, we will do, so it's a Friday, on the last day of the week, we will do a skill out, which means that they have to meet their goal that day, and then they bring me their papers, and we look through them, we see, were they meeting their goal every day, were they not, what were some reasons why they weren't, were they running over their goal, was their goal too low, was their goal too high. A lot of factors went into our Friday skill out day for that. Last thing for this intervention plan was that they would have to improve their goal by 2 every week. So if a student ran 10 on their pretest, I would put their goal lower than that, so somewhere around a 5 or a 6. So that second week, they're running 6 every day. The next week they're going to run 8. The next week they're going to run 10. And by that 5th week, they're going to surpass their pretest score because they would have built their cardiovascular endurance up. So after I collected 2 weeks worth of data, I found out that that was not working too well. I had a lot of students that were meeting their goal, but not the numbers that I was wanting. A lot of students were not meeting their goal every day. There were some students that would miss 1 day here or a couple days there. They may have been off 1 pacer, or they may have been off 5 or 6 pacers. It varied differently. So what I did was I modified my intervention, and instead, and we'll look at some of the data in slides 11 through 13 coming up, but I modified my intervention based off my pre-data that I got. From what I gathered, from the 2 weeks worth of intervention 1, it seemed like the students were having a little bit of difficulty meeting their goal every day. And some of the factors that were coming to the effect of that was some of those students were playing sports, or some of those students were going home and being completely inactive for the rest of the evening. A lot of the students were not stretching before or after, so soreness played into effect. It seemed like they were not getting any time to rest. So what I did was I modified it so that now, weeks 3, 4, and 5, Monday through Thursday, they were allowed to get close. And when I mean close, if you look on the back of the pacer log that I gave you, I created a rubric for them. And what I mean by close is they have to get within 2 or 3. So that gives my students a choice. Okay, they can come in one day and feel like, I don't really feel too good today, or I'm feeling kind of lazy today, or I didn't get much sleep last night, or I'm feeling kind of sick, but I don't have a parent or doctor note. They're still required to run their pacers, but they can not have to run all the way to their goal. They can get like within 2 or 3 and still get their point for the day. And I figured if they're getting within 2 or 3, they're still running, they're still improving their cardiovascular endurance, and I'm not giving them the choice, I think, was the biggest beneficial factor for that. So we'll look at some more data here in a second on slides 11 through 13 about what I gathered. So as you can see right here on pre-test, that we didn't create any goals or anything, because I was just gathering my baseline data. So in the blue, that was the number of students that met their goals, and the red, that was the number of students that didn't. So weeks 1 and 2 was with the first intervention in place, and you can see that I had 9 students in week 1 and 7 students in week 2 that were not meeting their goal. Now that could have been they missed their goal 1 day, or they missed their goal all 5 days. But regardless, they were not meeting their goal every day as I was hoping that they would. But still, I would say over half the class was meeting their goal, which is still good, but that's not the numbers that I'm quite wanting to improve cardiovascular endurance. And then so you look at week 3, I modified the intervention. This is at week 3, they were allowed to start Monday through Thursday. They were allowed to get close, but then on Friday they had to do it. They had to meet their goal on Friday. So starting at week 3, that's when they were allowed to get their choice. And as you can see, 4 and 5, the red has just decreased completely, going down. It's the same data, but I analyzed it a little bit more. Some factors that I looked at was, as I mentioned, giving them the option to get close was a big one. Providing them with some like whoopsie days or off days, or your shoe came untied, or you tripped, or you got a muscle spasm. A lot of those factors kind of came into play. And another big one that I had to consider was the number of students who missed days. Okay, not every student is going to come to school every day and never miss a single day. So if they weren't here at school, I highly doubt that they were on their sick day at home running pacers. So that means they lost a day of being able to be physically active. So giving them those days really helped understand that. But as the data shows, it looks like the modified intervention was the better option. As I was saying, requiring them to meet their goal every day, I gave them no time to rest or rebuild their muscles. It was almost like you got to be perfect or it don't count. There was no improvement. There was no area for growth. It was just like you either get it or you don't. And when it comes to being physically active, it's all about progress and showing growth. You may lose 5 pounds one day, and then you go to the next week, you may lose 4 pounds, then you'll go through like a really long drought where you don't lose any. And that's kind of the same principle. And even though it was only 5 weeks worth of data collecting, it still made a factor. As I was saying, Monday through Thursday, the practice day was the best. I tried to explain to my students like this. You go to a math class, they give you practice problems before you take a test. They don't give you the equation and say, all right, here's the equation, here's the test, good luck. They give you practicing the equation, practice problems, areas where you can mess up and learn from your mistakes. And that's the same thing. Monday through Thursday were practice days. You're practicing to get your go. Fridays are test days. Fridays, you practice Monday through Thursday. Here's your test day. Here's your day to show me that you can increase your cardiovascular endurance. And I think that really hit home for them as well. I collected some other data. This was students who missed at least one or more days of the week, just so that you could understand that that was a factor that contributed into it. I mean, week 1 we had 9, week 2 we had 10, and as the weeks went on, it further less. But these first 2 weeks were back from Christmas break. We did have some snow days, as well as a lot of the sickness that was going around. So those were factors that I had to contribute in, and which really benefits the modified intervention, because if students were missing and they were missing a large number of pacers, they weren't able to rebuild or boost their cardiovascular endurance. The average pre-test score for pacers for the entire class was a 22, and after week 5, the average pacer score was at 24. So even though it's not a large number, there was an increase, and that's something that you always want to see. Looking at the two numbers, anytime you see an increase, whether it's 1 point or 2 points, especially when you're looking at cardiovascular endurance and weight loss and weight gain and being able to run longer, that's important, that's crucial as well. And then here are some next steps that I've looked at. I would like to try and continue using the modified intervention plan versus the first intervention plan, because I feel like the modified intervention plan was the better option. Students were meeting their goals on Fridays more consecutively. I would also like to try and continue doing the same approach, but for other forms of fitness like the muscular strength for push-ups and the flexibility, so stretching of that nature as well. I think that setting high expectations for my students was important, but there's a fine line between setting too high of expectations that aren't attainable for them versus telling them that they can do it and trying to be positive. And technology components that I used was Stereo System, PowerPoint, YouTube, projection screen, and DocCam. And here is my resources. One more thing, and then I will let you go. Looking at the pacer log, the sample one that I gave you, you can see that's a sample students. You can see on week 1, their pre-test score was a 16. So I bumped it down by half, and their goal was 8, because by the time we get down to week 9, they're going to surpass that. So weeks 2 and 3 were the big ones, because those were the weeks that I would require them to meet their goal every day. So you can see that first week their goal was 8. They only met their goal 3 out of the 5 days. There were 2 days.
Elijah Meredith to the office, please. Elijah Meredith to the office.
There were 2 days they got close, but technically they didn't get their points. They didn't meet their goal. And then going into week 3, I bumped their goal up because we improved by 2 every week. And you can see that week they only met their goal once, and they didn't even meet it on Friday. So by requiring them to meet their goal every day, it was almost like it was an unrealistic thing. Now, I'm not saying that none of my students were capable of doing that, but providing the platform for where all of my students can succeed instead of just my higher active students was the key thing. So then looking at week 4 and 5, that was the modified intervention. So Monday through Thursday, they could choose to meet their goal or get close to it. And then on Friday, that was the big one. So week 4 and 5 on Friday, you can see that their goal was 12, they ran 12. Their goal was 14, they ran 14. And that's the end of the day. You give your kids a test, you want them to pass the test the first time. I mean, I'm all about remediation and enrichment, but if we can teach our students to do it the first time and they nail it the first time, that's just as good as them being able to remediate and do better the second and third time. So that's my presentation. Do you all have any questions or any comments that you could give me to maybe better this modified intervention plan, or any kind of next steps that you see that I could or may not use?
What difference have you seen since you started using the board? And do you consider that as one of your interventions?
Yes, and that was something that I done outside of this, but that was another big thing, was we put up a pacer board where level 6 was the baseline level, and if a student runs 42 pacers, they get their name on a basketball, they get to staple it up, and it tracks their progress on moving up. That has been the biggest factor for us, because students you wouldn't normally see trying to run pacers are running pacers to get up their name on the board. And whether it's just one time or they're just like, all right, I'm here, next week I'm going to move up. But that has been a huge one for us as well. So that is something that we will continue doing, because it's a motivating factor for them. It really helps. All right, well, thank you. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to listen to me present my presentation. And if there are any further questions, do not hesitate to contact me. Thank you.